Hello. My name is Callista, and welcome back to The Roottrees Are Dead. In the last episode, we were let loose on the full family tree. It is large and magnificent. Look at it. Look at all of this. So many people, such little time. Now, we have a lot of new evidence, so let's go through it. Also, let me start my timer before I forget. This is a list of notable Roottrees. The person who hired you gave you this list and said everyone on it could be found easily via your search engine. So we have the Roottree sisters, we've done them, Carl Roottree, Elias and Gwyneth Roottree, Gwyn Roottree, Red Roottree, Jim Roottree, Lauren Roottree, Miracle Jr. Any entry on the family tree that belongs to someone on this list will be marked with a star. Notable Roottrees will be crossed out after they are verified and locked. Okay. Yeah, and apparently we have 35 clues connected to this list. 11 clues connected here. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then. So Roottree, 5 pieces. So Strawberry, Power Plum, Awesome Apple, Rad Blue Raspberry, Cool Chocolate. I am about to have a coughing fit. 1 second. Oh my goodness, this is why I keep drinks up here. Delicious. Okay, there's 5 flavors because the original inventor had 5 kids. Maybe that's why kids still love them. Radical new flavors because it's no longer the 1920s. What even is an elderberry anyway? That is, can we? Yeah, it is the 1920s, okay. And then, oh, the story so far, okay. Yeah, okay, I mean, it's the story so far. I don't think we need to read this. Okay, marketing items. Got it. Okay, well, I kind of want to start here with Carl. And then... Ooh, you're notable. You know, let me just see. Where are the notable people at? So we've got the people who founded it. Then on the next line, we have no one. This one we have... Okay... And this line, we have Carl, someone else. And then on this line, okay, doesn't look like there's anyone notable down here. Hello. Oh, Guardian, adoption or otherwise. And that's split up. Get married. Alright, hello. Why is this pinned off? Interesting. Very, also lots of splitting up here. My goodness. Okay, yeah, let's start with Carl. So let's go Carl. Ooh. Public library and periodicals. Okay, Carl. It's 2 T's. Okay. Carl Roottree died in the recent plane crash along with his wife, Brenda Roottree, and their daughters, the Roottree sisters. He was the president of the Roottree Candy Company. Okay, you know what? Let me... notes. Add page. And this... I'm thinking... There we go. Carl and Brenda. Yep. Ooh, search periodicals. Okay. Yeah, highlight that. And then I'm also gonna highlight Root for Brenda. Okay, he was the president of the Roottree candy company as well as the clothing company Root, which he co-founded with his wife. There is a short press release that the Roottree candy company released today to news organizations. December 6th, 1998. It is with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, the Roottrie sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Roottree family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope that you join us in looking back fondly on Carl and his family's triumphs and accomplishments. They go on to list some of those accomplishments. One of them seems relevant to your search. Like his great-grandfather before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious Watchman of the Year title. Okay. There we go. Now let's see. Do we have anything on Brenda? You stumble across an auction for a black and blue dress that's a Brenda White original. The auction describes it a vintage dress from before Brenda became Brenda Roottree and started designing clothes for Root. The white and gold dress itself doesn't seem relevant to your search. This is a reference to that dress that went viral a few years back. Is there anything of her? Okay, nothing under her maiden name. Yeah, we read this. Do we have anything for? Oh, no, it's two T's. Two T's. God damn it. Ooh. You discover a trivia page that lists common trick questions. The answer to what are the first names of the famous Roottree girls lists the answer Raina, Carly, and Riley. The explanation below the answer states that Rose was originally born Carly, it's her middle name, Carly Rose Roottree. Apparently, her parents had planned to name a son Carl Roottree Jr., but after finding out they were having a second daughter, they called her Carly. Sometime in the early 90s, a now preteen Carly strongly expressed her dislike that her sisters had RH names and she was the odd one out. That's when she began to go by her middle name. Okay, so fair play. Fair play, she decided to go by her middle name, rather than her mam pushing it as some kind of like, oh, I want my kids to be all matchy-matchy. Fair play. Fair play. One sec, I just want to have a look. Yeah, we do have a magazine, Teen Blast. So maybe we can look that up in the periodical. Also, 5 pieces. Okay, yeah, back to the computer. 5 pieces. From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Roottree Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces are small, colourful, shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf, although they usually have one flavour that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavours, but the shape and combination with maple has remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5-piece advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. Unfortunately, when you click through to the website, it seems like all of their image links are broken. However, okay, you know what? Notes, add page, 5 pieces. There we go. So, highlight. Yep, right there. Good stuff. Okay. So yeah, this is for a book, so we would need the library, and then periodicals for Teen Blast. You know what? I'm gonna do that here before I forget. Teen Blast, 5 pieces. Ooh, okay. Teen Blast has played host to many Roottree advertisements over the years for many of their products, including 5 pieces. They flood the results. One of them was already in your evidence. Okay. But it said we got a new periodical. Yeah, okay. Aye, a tabloid aimed at teenage girls likely to have gossip about famous faces they'd be interested in. Okay. Aye. And then the public library, it was Charles Lee. And where are my notes? I'm like, is there... Copy. Excuse me. I'm like, oh god, what is it? Control P? There we go. Okay. Charles. There we go. So published 1985, hardcover, History Advertising Non-Fiction. This is part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. It includes some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s added to evidence. Okay. Ooh. 5 clues. It's a miracle. A modern candy for a modern society. Roottrees, 5 pieces. Contains 5 different maple-infused flavors. The Rootrees are a proud family business, and our flavors are inspired by our children. G is for grape, E is for elderberry, CE is for cinnamon extract, M is for melon, and introducing M for miracle berry. Miracle berry is a bust of beautiful, blossoming, blended berries. Try it today! You found this advertisement in The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2 by Charles Lee. It's from 1928, 6 years after the debut of 5 pieces. It states that the flavors are inspired by their children, and the order is grape, elderberry, cinnamon extract, melon, and the newest flavor, miracle berry. Okay. Interesting. Correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there a, I want to say one of the Rootrees was called Clancy Edward. Can we, you know what, let me, Clancy, that's a boy's name. That's a boy's name, Clancy Edward. They're inspired by the children. I'm wondering if the initials are the initials as the kids. Okay. There also was like a miracle Roottree, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Still interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so 5 pieces. Have we looked up? I'm pretty sure. Yep. Oh, okay. This is new. Mixed in with the recent news of the plane crash, there are a lot of results for Roottree's extremely popular candy products. Their official website is unstable due to the traffic it has been receiving. However, you find a direct link to the history section that manages to work momentarily. The Roottree Candy Company was founded by Elias Roottree shortly after he married his wife Gwyneth, whose family owned a small farm called the Anderson Maple Farm. For reasons that aren't explained on the page, it has no CEO and no stockholders. Instead, it's run by a president, with input and votes from extended family. The site does not mention that every president has been a direct descendant of Elias and Gwyneth, including Karl Roottree, who, despite his death, is listed as the current president. Yeah, so he must be the 5th. If there are options for 5, he must be the 5th. The product that put them on the map were 5 pieces, maple candies with 5 different flavourings that are dipped in a crispy, crackly candy coating. Since then, they have branched out to countless other products, some of which incorporate maple in some way. Their sister company, simply titled Root, specialises in children's clothing. The primary models for Root are the Roottree sisters. Okay. Okay, so we could follow up with Elias and Gwyneth. However, I want to stay on Karl and Brenda. Yeah, Watchman of the Year. Okay, let's... Okay, oh, Business Watch. Business Watch magazine is a magazine focused on companies, CEOs, and the economy. They have been around for over 100 years in one form or another, and will often write about major changes in management at famous companies. Every year, they offer an award to a prominent businessman who has furthered the field. They call this Watchman of the Year. You find through a few searches that 2 Roottrees have been featured as Watchman of the Year, Elias Roottree and Karl Roottree. Business Watch does not host any online archives on any site you can find via spider search, though you may be able to find individual articles and issues through your periodical search. Okay. So, yeah, Business Watch. Business Watch has awarded Watchman of the Year to many people throughout the years. Every 10 years they publish the full list again. You search through the most recent list and the only names you recognise are Elias Roottree in 1936 and Karl Roottree in 1987. Do we have, maybe if we try Karl. Okay. Karl Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987 for his hard work with Root. The cover and a summary of the article has been added to your evidence. And we also had Elias. Elias Roottree was awarded Watchman of the Year in 1936 for his accomplishment of rolling out 5 pieces to a global market. Notes from the article and a scan someone made of the cover have been added to your evidence. Okay, ooh. Well, we'll start with Karl. Thank you. Business Watch. Karl Roottree grabs life by the roots. Karl Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year in 1987, and a photo of him appears on the cover. According to the cover, Business Watch is the magazine for and about corporate leaders and has ongoing coverage of who's who in the corporate world. Karl was chosen not for his work at Roottree Candy, but rather a clothing company, Root. There's a brief history. Before they married, Karl's wife Brenda was a fashion consultant. When Raina was born, Brenda retired to become a stay-at-home mother. Looking for a creative outlet, she spent any free time she had at the sewing machine. Raina's new clothes were a hit with other parents, including Karl's cousin, Jim Roottree, a notable singer who had a young daughter around the same age as Raina. Word spread. Okay. Notes. Yeah, Karl. So let's go. You know, we'll go with that. Highlight. There we go. Word spread. By 1982, Brenda's patterns were being copied by other brands. Seeing the demand, Karl and his second cousin, Ernie Jr., who had just become president of Roottree at the time, spearheaded Root. Okay. Highlight that. There we go. Other blood relatives who have a say in the company's finances refused to fund anything other than candy, so Karl personally spent his entire inheritance to bankroll the clothing company. When the profits began to appear, however, the rest of the family changed their tune. They repaid his investment, and now Root exists under the umbrella of the candy company, and they all benefit. Per tradition, or perhaps superstition, new clothes always debuted the way the first ones did. Raina became their catalogue's cover model. As she grew, the product line expanded to older kids as well. Her younger sisters were then recruited to show off the baby clothes. Karl was voted Watchman of the Year primarily for his personal gamble and the ensuing payoff. And then over here, Okay, there's Elias. Elias Roottree was voted Watchman of the Year by Business Watch in 1936, and a painting of him appears on the cover. The magazine says he was voted Watchman of the Year specifically to recognise the global rollout of 5 pieces. Inside the article is a timeline of 5 pieces. 1908, Elias forms the Roottree Candy Company after marrying his wife, who inherited a maple farm. During the period before 5 pieces, the company is barely profitable. 1909, Elias has a daughter, the first of 5 children. 4 more follow, leading to 1922. Elias invents 5 pieces. Each of the flavours is chosen based on the initials of his 5 children, 1 flavour per child. Aha, I thought so. 1924, 5 pieces are first sold in some Pittsburgh markets. 1926, 5 pieces are rolled out to all of New England. 1928, the new recipe and flavour is finalised and the candy begins nationwide distribution in department stores and other shops everywhere. 1935, the Roottree Candy Company purchases every available maple farm in Pennsylvania in preparation for their global rollout. 1935, with the help of his son Elias Roottree Jr.'s architecture firm. Hello. Okay, this can be the founders. And let's, okay, highlight that. There we go. With the help of his son, Elias Roottree Jr.'s architecture firm, a new industrialized factory and warehouse are built in Butler County. 1936, production is tripled and worldwide distribution begins. There is also a What's Next section that claims Elias is going to pivot to ensuring his company's legacy and that of the Roottree Candy Company remains a family business. He plans to do this with the Clancy Trust. Okay. Aye, okay. Well, we have, take me to the board. We have a picture for you and also, Elias. For you. Okay. I think let's go to the founders. Let's go to the founders. So we have Elias Roottree, and his wife was, I want to say it was Gwyneth. It said the excuse me. There was something. I think it was here. I want to say. I want to say it was okay, there we go. Gwyneth. I mean, Gwyneth, whose family owned a small farm called the Anderson Maple Farm. I would assume that would be Gwyneth Anderson. Gwyneth Anderson. Well, let's zoom in a wee bit. So you were also president, but you were the first. This is in 1908. Could women even own businesses in 1908? I mean, do we have farmer? We do have farmer. Her family had a maple farm, or a maple tree farm. I don't know. Either way, let's go and have a look, see what we can find on the pair of them. Okay, ooh. Elias Roottree was the founder and first president of the Roottree Candy Company. You find what is essentially a propaganda site about him created by the Roottree Candy Company. At the top, there is a picture of him and his wife, Gwyneth. That picture has been added to your evidence. There is also a biography section that has some additional information. Elias is credited for inventing Five Piece, a popular maple candy. Before that, the farm he inherited by marrying his wife only produced syrup. After Five Pieces became wildly successful, Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. He is quoted on the site as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup, and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy." The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. There are a few more quotes about Elias from a book called Family Man. Let's highlight that, thank you. There are a few more quotes about Elias from a book called Family Man, The Roottree Legacy by Bess Williams. To say they are biased is a massive understatement. Below that, there is a long list of accomplishments and awards, and one stands out. Like his great-grandson Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year. Okay, let's see. Hello. Ooh. Looking very young. This is a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth Roottree. It was taken in 1909 after they founded the Roottree Candy Company, but before it was a success. From what you've found searching the internet, it seems quite difficult to find any site about Elias or Gwyneth that isn't accompanied by this picture. Elias and Gwyneth are on the notable Rootrees list. In your evidence, they will be marked on the chart with a star. Okay. Okay. So we definitely could look up this book. I'm thinking I want to look up Gwyneth first. I'm like, okay, there we have the spelling. Okay. You find some information on a website for the first Anderson Maple Farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. That photo was added to your evidence. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottree was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson Maple Farm, so long as she married. Oh God, was this even before the day that women could own property? Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias's idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavours. This led to Five Pieces, which are still found in stores to this day. Though the Roottree Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. Yeah, if she couldn't own property, then it's highly unlikely that she would have been able to have any kind of career. Okay, so do we have... Yeah, housewife. And then... Aha! Well done! These 3 entries are correct and have been locked. So yeah, Elias, Gwyneth, Carl. You've also locked the following optional entry, Brenda. Okay, and that means we can now... Yeah, this is you as a young man. It's saying we have... Am I being daft? I'm not seeing any other... Maybe it's saying, like, oh, there are other pictures out there. There are pictures that exist of Carl and Raina. Okay, something to keep in mind. But yes, we were still on them. You know what? Let me just... Yeah, we've done everything there. We've searched for everything. Yeah, we can look at Jim and Ernie Jr., who had just become president. So presumably Ernie Jr. is the 4th president, and then Carl took over from Ernie. Yeah, we've looked at that one. We have Clancy Trust, Elias Roottree Jr., and Family Man. I want to look up the book. Also, anything in here that... No, nothing that stands out. Okay, no. Public library, so... Notes. So, copy. And then that is the book title. author name by Bess Williams. And then... Okay. Ooh. Published 1920, hardcover, non-fiction anthology, an old book about Elias Roottree. There's no downloadable version available because the book is impossible to find these days. Oh. I mean, I'm thinking, can we at least try searching for it on Spider Search? No, not evidence, excuse me. Wait a minute, we can, Oh, bugger. Bugger. Well, there goes my timer. Okay. Okay, so we're not going to get anything from that book. Aye. Well, you heard my timer. So we did some progress. We've locked in the next three more, and the mysterious individual will return. But until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. A special thanks to my channel members, such as SM2K, Christopher K. Davis, CGG, and Kevin Bicknell. I've been Kallista. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.